A very interesting YouTube clip we saw recently.
Yeah.
Avi Yamini is a fairly conservative commentator. He has some pretty strong views on immigration in Australia. And to be fair, he does tend to be quite critical of Islam as a culture.
Yeah. I think he's from Israel, and he's
he's Jewish. He grew up
guy.
in an ultra orthodox family.
Yeah.
So he has Jewish views, and there's obviously a kind of tension between them and the Islamic community.
Yeah.
He got invited by Jim Jeffries, who is an occasionally funny, super lefty comedian who made his fortune bagging out Americans while doing shows in America.
They categorize him as a comedian. I don't know if you call him
more of a
that.
political social political.
He's one of
commentator.
those fucking talking head political fuckwits.
Yeah, and people love him.
He's
Idiots.
so funny.
Anyway, he invites Avi Yamini for an interview in Singapore. He offers to fly him over. He offers to put him up in a hotel for a couple of days and to do an interview. And Avi Yamini provides two conditions for him to do this interview. The first condition is, you are not going to associate me with neo-Nazis. I'm a Jewish person. The second one is, you are not going to cut the video where one question and one answer are mismatched to make me look like an idiot.
Yeah.
But he knew straight ahead of time that they were going to do that.
Jim Jeffries is like, fuck you.
Yeah, Jim Jeffries is like, fuck you, man. I'm going to do this anyway. So, genius thing that Avi Yamini does in this YouTube video, he puts a hidden camera phone recording the interview the whole time, the full hour, right? Because they do a 4-minute expose on a 1-hour interview, and he just commits all of those fucking things that he said he wouldn't. Jim Jeffries said he wouldn't do.
Yeah.
Associate with neo-Nazis straight away in his comedic style, and then proceeds to mismatch the answers with the questions to make him look like a fucking idiot. But the most reprehensible thing in that video was, because Jim Jeffries didn't know he was being secretly recorded, he was actually the one who said the most off-key shit about Muslims. He was making jokes about if a dingo ate a Muslim baby, they would vomit. And even Avi Yamini was like, dude, you just crossed the line.
Yeah, you've gone too far.
He goes, I never joke about killing people. Never. And then Jim Jeffries was like, oh, don't worry about it. I never look bad in these interviews. And you're just like, you're such a fucking cunt.
Yeah, and then later on, he's just like, oh, what's the whole problem with Muhammad? What's the whole problem with Muhammad? Oh, well, you know what? I'll just draw him. And then he goes to draw Muhammad and he goes, oh, I've got no problem with that. And just showing it to the camera. It's just like, yeah, I'm not going to see you put that live on that.
Oh, yeah, you got so much balls. Yeah, it's like he's acting like he's got so much.
So tough.
Yeah, he's acting like he's got so much balls. It's like, yeah, we'll put that on TV then, cunt. Let's see what happens to you. And the thing is, everyone thinks he's this kind of lefty hero. And look at his fucking views, actually. He's actually got really shitty, genuinely racist views.
Yeah.
It's really funny to me. Oh, prejudice, sorry. If you want to be technical.
Prejudice
Muslim,
views.
it's prejudice views. You know, I'm so glad that Avi Yamini was smart enough to do a hidden recording of this, fully expose him for what he is. I mean, if you find Jim Jeffries funny, fucking watch this thing first and see, watch this thing and see what you think, It's fucking...
The other thing as well is this interview was shot months and months and months ago. And then they brought it out just after the Christchurch attacks.
Yeah, and
to make him look like a mad racist.
To imply that he was saying these things in response
to
the Christchurch shooting.
Yeah.
It's fucking
it's a massive hit piece on the dude, man. Like, yeah, look, he's critical of Islam, and he's got his own reasons for that.
And you could say his views can be pretty extreme in the sense that he tends to apply this view of, cultural incompatibility and just apply it to everybody. And I think to myself, well, you still got to treat individuals as individuals. You can make comments about culture as a whole, and to some extent, you'd still be quite accurate. But when we talk about people trying to go over here, or whether they got skills or whether they're refugees or whatever, you have to assess them as individuals. You can't go, oh, you belong to that culture, you must be fucked up. No, we have to see whether you're willing to integrate properly. And if you are, and you actually do accept Western values, the ones that are, the ones that we decide as a society are the core values, then you should be allowed in.
Yeah.
So again, it's just whenever someone tries to simplify things to like collective guilt or too much groupthink or group mentality, tribalism, that's what you get. So I don't fully agree with this guy either, but I'm really glad he fucking exposed Jim Jeffries. That was great. That was so fucking entertaining.
It's just a shame though, like, yeah, he exposed him, but he has to go onto the YouTube video to find it. But the rest of like the world watches like something, goes, oh, look at this racist neo-Nazi Jew.
Yeah, it's
You
like,
know,
huh.
like
And it's funny how
Jeffrey
lefties are
looks-
so
yeah.
lefties are so quick to be straight up anti-Semitic. It's funny. I don't know when that happened. How long has that been around? Where it's like, aren't you guys the ones who have compassion for every race and minority? When did you become like so eager to bag out Jewish people? I've noticed it more and more now.
Not bag of Jewish people. What do you mean?
Lefties, like look at Democrat Party. Like, there's all these anti-Semites just running around. Like Ilhan Omar.
I don't know about that, man.
Well, they try to justify it as like, oh, it's actually just we're just actually being anti-Israel, like, or it's anti their policy or something like that.
Maybe anti-Israel, yeah.
You know what it is? It's because there's a lot of Jewish people who eventually become part of the establishment because they're really successful.
I don't see them specifically bagging out Jews, though, man. That's pretty.
I think there's a skepticism
that's a
towards
way
Jews.
too-
They don't group them according to the victim.
No, they're
groups.
not. They're not allowed to be. But
They're not in the victim hierarchy.
And Jews see themselves as a race, not as a religion too.
Well,
That's the
there
thing
are a
too.
lot of things rolled into one. They're kind of a race. They're kind of a religion.
Yeah.
They're also this culture and a really, really rigid way of life.
Mm.
It's a way of life in a way that's it invades it permeates through your life
Mm.
in a way that a lot of other religions or cultures don't.
Yeah.
It's quite fascinating in that way. But yeah, Jim Jeffries, fuck you.
Yeah. So I think there's one more thing we want to talk about. The Moscow.
Oh yes, Moscow. So